I can't say I was surprised by Emma because I always knew that she could bring much more than what was on the page. Um, just the fact that she hadn't done anything like this before, I guess, is interesting to observe. But I think there are a lot of powerful moments within the film when her character observes what other people are doing and what they're saying, and she manages with very little to convey so much about what her character is thinking or what she's intending to do or how she feels about it. So that was very interesting to see. Rachel has a very has a quality that is kind of contradicting to the character of Sarah. She has a very particular warmth that I like a lot about her, which kind of clashes with Sarah's strong side, ruthless side, if she has that a lot of the times. And I think that create a strange complexity to the character that it's hard to find when the actor themselves don't carry that kind of quality within themselves. It was impressive to see how quickly she can, turn on any kind of feeling within a scene or towards any direction at any given moment. She can go from being completely ridiculous and funny to heartbreaking in a second. And it's a huge gift, and it's really a unique experience to see it in front of you. What we initially discussed with Sandy is that it would be interesting to limit the color palette of the costumes. That's why we mainly used black and white or just a few splashes of red and blue for the politicians in order to separate the two opposing parties. But the rest of the film is mostly in black and white. Actually, we did dream at some point if we could actually make a black and white film, but instead we applied that to the costume design. The other thing that we were really interested in exploring is using a lot of contemporary materials and fabrics for the costumes while we retained the shapes of the period. Sandy used a lot of vintage denim, leather, plastic, 3D printed accessories, whatever worked well for the shape of the costume by utilizing modern materials. I think we tried it. It was very interesting to walk into the spaces of Hatfield House where we shot most of the film. We had to combine a couple of other locations as well for the entire scope of the film. But seeing those huge rooms and realizing that people actually lived there, slept there, but at the same time they had other people come in and had meetings and meals in the same huge spaces. It was quite interesting to realize. And then what we tried to do by filming especially these three women in those huge rooms, was to enhance that feel of a lone figure within a huge space, and especially by using very wide-angle lenses and distorting the space. I think we created some kind of claustrophobic feeling that reflected a lot of the themes within the film. You rarely get to see a film that has three female leads, and especially them having such a position of power at some point in history. I think The most interesting part is the fact that their mercuriality and their behavior actually affects the lives of millions of other people, and that feels quite relevant to our times as well. But the fact that they're women and the men in the film take exactly the opposite position, like appear as helpless most of the time, is, I guess, something you don't see often in film. And I think we wanted to enhance that feel, although it was kind of true for the time period, for the specific story we're showing. We try to enhance that feel of the men being really led by women and being powerless in front of them.